Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our exclusive project webinar. We're just trying to get more people in, so you're just going to give us few more minutes to get more people in. Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, good evening, Sylvia Fayton.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Okay, good evening, Tunde. Good evening, Opeyemi David. Good evening, Kolade Stephen. Good evening, Adiniro Oluwaseun. Good evening, Oluwatoyin. Good evening, Peter Oyedepo. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Good evening, Chinwe. Good evening, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining. You're all welcome to today's webinar. Okay. Few more minutes and we'll be starting. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, T. You're welcome. All right. So tonight's webinar is focused on giving everyone a first-hand look at two of our most exciting properties, Camberwall Advantage 5 Annex and Aramide Bungalows. So tonight we're going to be having two amazing speakers talk to us concerning these properties, and we will be getting to that shortly. All right. So I just want to confirm, can everybody hear me clearly?
Yes, we can.
So while we are waiting for everybody to join, I just want us to drop in the chat which property brought you here tonight. Is it Camberwall Advantage 5 Annex or Aramide Bungalows? Which one are you most excited about? Drop it in the chat box before we dive in quickly. 2 more minutes before we start. So let's drop it in the chat box. What exactly brought us here tonight? Which one? Camberwall Advantage 5 Annex, Aramide, or even both properties? Chinwe also says all the properties. Nice, nice. Elizabeth says Camberwall Advantage 5 Annex. Okay. I want to see more comments coming in. Camberwall Advantage 5 Annex. Rupert says Camberwall Advantage 5 Annex. Okay. Lovely. Okay. Seems like Camberwall Advantage 5 Annex got people more interested. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's begin quickly. Let's begin without much further ado. Let's begin the webinar. We've given people more time to join. Okay. So, like I mentioned earlier, we have two amazing speakers who will be joining us tonight, and I'll be introducing them. So, the first person who will be speaking to us tonight is our Executive Director of Operations and Project, Mr. Babatunde Quazeem. So he's the man that has been directly responsible for lots of projects happening at Veritasi Homes and Properties. Basically, if it's supposed to be built, Mr. Quazeem has a bird's eye view of everything happening. So tonight he's going to be giving us more information about this property and exactly where our investment stands. And please welcome with me Mr. Babatunde Quazeem to take us on the first session of this webinar on Camberwall Advantage 5 Annex and giving us information about the two properties. Mr. Quazeem?
Yeah, good evening, Sylvia. Good evening, everyone.
Yes, Mr.
Oh,
Quazeem is on the call. So come on,
yeah,
drop your likes in the chats. Give a thumbs
good
up
evening,
if you can. If you
good
can.
evening, our amazing realtors, our billionaire, trillionaire realtors.
Lovely.
Uh,
Lovely.
um,
Mr. Quazeem, you're welcome. Mr. Quazeem, you're welcome.
yeah, good evening, good evening. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for joining
Oh,
this amazing
Mr.
webinar. Can
Quazeem, we
anyone
can't
hear
hear
me?
you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
We can hear you, Mr. Cousin. I hear you.
Okay, you can hear me. Sylvia, can you hear me now? Please indicate if you can hear me. I need to be sure that you can.
Okay,
Okay,
okay, can hear you
I
now.
can, I can see people saying they can hear me. Yeah, good evening,
I can
everyone.
I can hear
Okay, thank you very much. So, just to step on it straight up, because I wouldn't want to take much of our time, but I would just try to talk on all the projects, and I'd like to give you a progress report on all the projects that we're talking about. Basically, Camberwell Advantage 5 Annex and Aramide Bungalows. I want to be able to give you the first-hand information about almost what is happening on the two projects, where we are, where we're going, and when we intend to deliver, and probably some other things that probably will come up during the course of this webinar. So basically, I'll start from Camberwell Advantage 5 and next. Yeah, we have three blocks of apartments. I know most readers in this call know that Camberwell Advantage 5 Annex is a mixture of 2 and 3 bedroom apartments in Freedom Way in the Lekki axis of Lagos State. And it's actually a mixture of 2 3 bedroom apartments. It's a G plus 7 apartment. I mean, by saying that, I mean that's 8 floors of apartment. We have 2 bedrooms, like I mentioned, 2 bedroom and a BQ. We have 3 bedroom and a BQ too. And we have three blocks. The first block is actually 75% completed on carcass level. By carcass, I mean the block work. The frame structure has been completed 100%. Block work done. Basically, we're actually on the plastering level now, which we should be able to get done with the carcass of block B. We should be done in the next 2 months. So give or take, when you are going to Camberwell Advantage 5 Annex, the block B that has been standing, the carcass should be completed on or before the end of July 2026. Then we have two other blocks that are probably still on the ground on the foundation level. Let me put it that way. Yeah, the only reason why there were a little bit of differences in the progress was because when we started the block B, there were some other adjustments that we need to make in the block A and the block C so that we can actually add some other pegs to it. The peg that is actually going to be beneficial to all the people living in the estate. And yes, we are in Nigeria and we are in Lagos. There are a little bit of one or two disturbance from the regulatory agency due to approval and other stuff, which we have actually sorted 100%. Lest I forget, Camberwell Advantage 5 Annex is actually a project that has a governor's consent and it has its approval duly perfected from last part. And even LabSCA, state certification, all those the regulatory things that they do to make sure that whatever we are doing conforms with the regulatory agency are being done by them. So like I said, the block B, the carcass is like rounding of block A and block C. that we're actually working on now. So there's something I need to bring to us now. Like I said, I want it to be that you are hearing it from us firsthand. Um, we Camberwall Advantage 5 Annex is actually meant to be a project that is meant to be for a period of 20, 28 months or thereabout. But due to one or two issues that I mentioned that we encountered, the delivery will actually be a little bit extended to the last quarter of next year. And I'm going to break it down for us in a very practical way so that if you're talking to your client, if you're talking to your prospect, you'll be able to defend it. Now, at least for you to achieve one block of that G+7, which is a kaka, which is let me just say the kakas, you will need 1 month to achieve or attain a floor. By a floor, I mean both the formwork for the columns, the reinforcement, the casting, the formwork for the slab, reinforcement, polystyrene laying, and all those MEP stuff that are meant to be there. So if you look at it, say, oh, 1 month for a block, that means you're still going to use give or take 7 or 8 months. Assuming there is no force majeure that's probably beyond our control. So by and large, the three blocks, however, are going to be completed on or before the end of last quarter. That's what we project the new delivery period to be. And that's what we're actually working on based on the new program of work. Um, Realtors can actually ask for it from the office. You can send us a mail if your client is actually interested in seeing the program of work that we can actually defend and show to them how we intend to complete the project. Um, Secondly, because I actually put some things down that I want us to. I've spoken about the delivery timeline. Yes, we're all in Nigeria. We know how things are going. I'm very sure since like almost over a year now, we didn't do anything on the pricing for Camberwall Advantage 5 Annex due to the fact that the construction activities was not really at that top speed. However, we've all seen the dynamics and the macros that are happening in the economy. So I'm using this medium to also notify our auditors so that you can reach out to your client or your prospect that is probably still dilly-dallying or still trying to like buy time, that there's going to be a price increase um on Camberwell 5 Annex in the next let's say 1 week max. And I will leave that to the head of marketing to actually look into that to explain that to you. But I just need to like shoot that in so that you can use that as a leverage to talk to your client that, oh, this is the best time for them to invest in Camberwell Advantage 5 Annex if really they want to do that. Because in the next in the next okay, I can see something. Okay, probably Sylvia, you will take the questions later because I can see some questions popping up. So the price increase, like I mentioned, is actually going to take effect. I think in the middle of this month or thereabout. So the best time for your clients to invest in Camberwell Advantage 5 Annex is now, so that you don't have to like what we could have done today. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. I will still come back to a little bit of anything that if people wants to still talk about Advantage 5 Annex or if there are questions that are going to be asked. Um, I like to go to Aramide Bungalows too. Yes, um, everybody knows that Aramide Bungalows is actually the hottest and the sweetest deal around the Bejuleke axis when it comes to middle level or probably premium bungalows that middle level or middle kid that people can actually buy. And let's not forget, Aramide is in the Bejuleke along the Epe corridor. It also has the CFO, duly perfected approval. And Alamidi Bungalow is actually meant to be an home away from home. People that just want to get away from the hustling and bustling in the city, they want to just go and have a weekend relaxation or thereabout. And let's not forget, Alamidi Bungalows is actually a little bit different from all other bungalows that people are building around that place. It comes with its own solar panel, and it's actually built with a lot of eco-friendly materials. If you even look at the facade, we were very particular about what we use for the external facade in terms of using the clay bricks, which actually reduce a whole lot of heat and all of that stuff. So Aramide, like I said, it's a cluster that we're actually looking at. We're actually looking at building like 1,000 units just to reduce the housing deficit and to actually show a little bit of consistency in that environment so that a lot of people that probably can't afford the things in the city can like, oh, this place too is not a bad idea. A whole lot of people actually coming to the city from Ekpe and they are working in VI or thereabout. And considering the coastal road that has been done now, it has actually reduced the traveling and the driving time. So around the first cluster, we are doing 25 units, and all of them are actually being done simultaneously. I think we're about 50-60% done on all the buildings. And the first cluster should be done before the end of this year, depending on how people how we decide to allocate people or thereabout on it. Because a lot of people are still doing payment plan. Some are still doing our try. Some have actually finished their unit. Some have actually been allocated, even given their allocation letter or thereabout. So we have 25 units that is currently being built. Like I said, the target is to do 1,000 units in a period of 3 years, and I think we're almost clocking the first year. So if you look at Aramide, for example, when you go there, the environment, the atmosphere, like I said, it's an eco-friendly. Most of the materials we are using, they are eco-friendly materials. Particularly, even the bricks that we're using, I'm very sure a lot of people will have done the inspection and see that, oh, it's actually a good place to be. So another thing that I want us to look at is as the price increase for Camberwall Advantage 5 Annex is actually also going to happen, the one for Aramide is also going to happen. We need to be very realistic and sincere to ourselves. Even the cost of the current price that we are selling, it shows that the current. I'm trying to look at the questions. I'll come back to it. Sylvia, please note out the questions. I'm sorry for the distraction. Okay. So the current price is also going to change. If you all look at the economy and most of since we launched Aramide, we've not even added any singular thing to it. We're just in trying to like make people actually believe in the project and like subscribe into it. So we're going to actually increase the price. I'll still leave that to the head of marketing when it comes to still take that and explain to you. But like I said, the first cluster is going to be delivered and people are going to actually start living there before the end of this year. That's the target. While the second cluster is going to start almost simultaneously. We're going. The plan is actually to start the second half, which is like next month. We're going to start the second cluster in a place that is closer, that is even more closer to where the first cluster is located or situated. So I think all I just want to I can see some questions and truly yes there are concerns, there are questions, there are grievances from our real thoughts from our clients. But the fact still remains that one thing about in Veritasi is this, yes, we might have faltered a little bit on most on some of our delivery, but trust me, Veritasi is not a company or a brand that would say that they are going to deliver a project and we will end up not delivering it. We might be a little bit far behind schedule, but like people will say, better late than never. And I'll still use this opportunity to appeal to most of our realtors, most of our clients. Yes, the ones that actually agree for the fact that there were delays in some of the projects. It was actually due to some things, some force majeure that probably some other companies will not even be able to actually face it out. But we're still there, we're standing strong, and we're actually looking at finishing all these projects as promised. Our bets are probably behind a little bit behind schedule of most of the things that were promised. Like I said, I am not going to really waste our time. I don't want to really hold off too much because I know it's in the evening and some people will be preparing their dinner or their. So I'll leave the floor to Mr. Bidemi Alfred, with our head of marketing and comms, to actually take it up from there. There are a lot of questions that have been asked. Sylvia will run me
Yes.
through it, then I
Okay.
will take it one after the other. Then thank you very much. So I will still, Mr. Bidemi, over to you now.
Okay. Evening, everyone. Can you all hear me though?
Yeah, we can hear you
Yes,
clearly.
hi.
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah. Evening. Let me show my face. Okay. Good evening. Okay, how do we want to do this? Mr. Quazeem, do you want to answer the questions first before I go on with mine, or I should round off first and then we'll take all the questions together?
I think it's best we take all the questions together.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, let me quickly go through my own segment. Good evening, everyone, and thank you immensely for making our time to be with us. We value you sparing this time for us, and we don't take it lightly. You are all here, our esteemed, partners, and if you are a partner, definitely one needs to treat you with the utmost respect there is, and for that, I want to say we value you. We thank you, for being here with us. Okay, quick and straight into the conversation of the night. Yes, Mr. Quazeem has kind of laid the foundation for what we intend to discuss and where we intend to go. And part of the things that is said that is occasioning the price increase sort of that we're looking at is the current state of things. And everybody on this call would bear witness with me that in the past couple of years, things have really, really gone out of control in terms of price. And you could see several factors affecting the way things pan out. A case in point is nobody ever saw that at the beginning of this year, there will be a war between, the US, Israel, and, Iran. And yes, you might say, how does that, affect us? It does affect us, in several ways. You could see the price of fuel, go over the roof from beyond what we, anticipated. And you know that fuel in itself is a mainstay in the Nigerian economy. If anything touches fuel, then it trickles down to every other thing, that you can never think of. And that is the reason why, some of these price increases are coming up. And also, if you look at Advantage 5 Annex, as Mr. Quazeem said earlier on, that for a very long time now, we've sort of held off, the need to increase, price on that particular property. And if you were to do a comparative analysis, within that axis, especially the Lekki phase one axis, and just do a comparative analysis, not necessarily in terms of pricing of a property. Just look at rent in that axis alone. You know that things are not the same. For the past 3 years now, in terms of pricing for rent has gone over the roof. How much more if I want to, buy a property? And despite all of the changes that have been taking place, we at Veritasi have held off the urge or the need to increase prices, but we feel that at this point in time that we are in, it necessitates that we go that route. And the reason I'm going this route is to more or less like create a background and a deeper understanding on the reason why some of these changes are coming up. The cost of building materials have gone really high, and also if you look at the axis in question that we situate some of these properties, you find out that we are more or less like selling below, market price. And these are some of the reasons why, the price changes are coming. I want to jump off again from what Mr. Quazeem said, that in a very few days from now, the prices will definitely take effect. So for Advantage 5 Annex, before now, for the 2 beds, they were going for 200 million naira, while the 3 beds were going for 280 million naira before now. However, in a couple of days from now, those prices will change. The 2 beds will be going for 270 million naira, while the 3 beds will be going for 350 million naira. And as I said, it's because of the time. We can all agree on this call that yes, things have really hit the roof, and every single developer is trying to find a way to more or less like manage the whole situation. Some developers goes as far as reaching out to their clients to say, hey, the pricing that we gave you initially won't work, and therefore you need to pay in an additional fee for us to get this done. But for us, we tried as much as possible to take on the brunt of of all of that, and not burden or bug our clients with more additional funds. So for prospective clients that are coming on board, we are saying that going forward, the pricing will definitely change, and the pricing for the 2-bedroom with a BQ will be going for 270 million, while the 3-bedroom with a BQ will be going for 350 million naira. And this price change will take effect from the middle of this month. That's the 15th of this month. And the reason why we are having this conversation now is so that you, being our partners, want to bring you on board to know the reasons for the change, so that you can help communicate and drive the conversation with your prospects, that between the very short window that is that is still open, if there's any of your prospect that is still sitting on the fence and thinking, hey, should I take the leap? Should I do it now? You understand, this is an opportunity for you to convince them and try to talk them into seeing the need to jump on the existing price before the price change takes effect. So from the 15th of this month, the pricing for Camberwall Advantage 5 Annex, the 2 beds will be going for 270 million, while the 3 beds will be going for 350 million naira from the 15th. Now, let me quickly jump to Aramide Bungalows. Aramide Bungalows have been selling for 75 million right from inception up till now, and I'm still jumping off and taking my lead from from what Mr. Quazeem said a while ago, that the quality of the material and the standard of the particular project in that axis is you can't really compare it with anything in that axis. Yes, some people might claim, oh, space. Some people might claim several other values that they bring to the to the fore, but for us, we go beyond that. We've gone a step further to increase the space and to listen to the pain points from our customers and our clients, and to increase the space, given a lot of changes have come into play within the couple of weeks and months that we've launched this particular project into the market. A lot of changes has taken place, and the quality of the material that we use are top notch. And in that axis, I don't think there's any developer that is using the same kind of materials, quality of materials that we are using for Aramide Bungalows. So based off of that, going forward from the 15th of this month as well, the price for Aramide Bungalow will be moving from 75 million to 90 million naira, will be the price going forward. Definitely all the necessary payment plans still exists, and you can have your clients or your prospects benefit from all the payment plans available. Also, interestingly about Aramide Bungalow again is I remember when we first started the whole conversation about Aramide Bungalow, we started with a big bang by introducing the MRIF federal government mortgage option for people to jump on. And I'm glad to, announce to you that that arrangement is back on the table again now. You can go a step further to push that to your prospects or your clients that are still, looking to jump on that particular project. That MRIF is here to stay. We've gone through a lot of partnership deals with several banks, that are willing to work with us and are currently have currently opened their doors to us, to bring in our clients. In fact, as of last week, we still have one of the major banks in the country, willing to come on board on this particular project with us. So MRIF is on the table. Anyone that wants to use that particular platform or that particular means to acquire one or two of Aramide Bungalow, that scheme is readily available for any of your prospects. So, as I said earlier on, and this is me trying to recap and to say that come June 15th, the prices of our existing properties, that's Camberwall Advantage 5 Annex and Aramide Bungalows, will be reviewed upward. For Camberwall Advantage 5 Annex, for the 2-bedroom with a BQ, will be going for 270 million, while the 3-bedroom will be going for 350 million naira. For Aramide Bungalows, the current price is 75 million. However, come June 15th, that price will be moved to 90 million naira. So those are the changes that are coming up and the reasons why we feel this is the best, time for us to put that communication out there so that everyone is carried along. We don't want a situation whereby we announce a price change and you, our esteemed partners, are just hearing it, from a third party. We want you to hear it from us first before we go live, with the price change. Hence the reason for this conversation that we're having this evening. So those are the changes that are coming in terms of pricing. And as I said earlier on again, and I repeat again, that for Aramide Bungalows, MRIF is on the table now, and you can go ahead and have that conversation with all of your prospects about it. So I want to rest my mic at the moment and give room for questions across the board. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bidemi. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Mr. Quazeem. Thank you. So quickly, we're going to be answering questions. There have been a couple that has dropped in the chat box, and if there are still more, please drop your questions. So first question, I believe from Mr. I don't know if it's a Mr. or Mrs. Okay, so from Damisha or Damisa, he or she says, and I think I would be directing this one to Mr. Cousin, because Mr. Cousin, you talked about the fact that people can request for the progress of the delivery, the program of the delivery rather. So Damisa wants to know the rate of Camberwall Advantage 5 Annex is extremely slow, and if this work rate continues like this, Veritasi won't deliver by the end of 2027, like you've said. Please throw more light on how Veritasi hopes to deliver all 3 blocks by the end of 2027, or will the company deliver each block? I believe it needs to act individually. So, Mr. Cousin, if you can, please
All right,
throw
let
me.
me quickly take that, Sylvia. So, Mr. Damisa or Miss Damisa or Mrs., thank you very much for the question. If you listen to me attentively, probably while I was making my presentation, I explained to you that we already have a program of work that is tailored towards the completion of that particular project in the third quarter of next year. And I gave a practical example, and I'll still go back to it now. You need a minimum of 9, 10 months to finish a carcass of one block, and we are doing the 2 blocks simultaneously. So we need 10 months to finish those 2 blocks. That one is standard. And don't forget that a block is already standing, which means whatever finishing items that we are going to use for that one block, we are buying the 3 blocks now. We are buying those things together. As we are working on those other 2 blocks simultaneously, as we are working on the carcass, we'll be doing the finishing of this one that is already standing. So I just gave that scenario for you to know. If we are using 10 months, 9, 10 months to finish a carcass, we still have about additional 8, 9 months for the finishing. And don't forget that most of the finishing materials are going to be outsourced. Like most of them are going to be imported. So whatever we are doing now, like we've actually planned in our program of work, those things are already entrenched into it in such a way that as soon as this particular session is going on, others will also be going on. So most of these things are going to be done simultaneously in such a way that one is not going to affect the other. I don't know if that answers your question perfectly, Mr. Miss or Mrs. Tamisa. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cousin. Please, if you have questions, please drop them in the chat box. Um, the next question, I think I would direct this one because this seems to be more of a marketing question. I'll direct this to Mr. Bidemi. Someone says that I'm curious to know why your company keeps unveiling new projects when some existing ones are yet to be delivered. Doesn't this risk damaging your credibility and client trust? In real estate, reputation is built on execution, not just announcement. And I believe the person wants to know how we are going to be juxtaposing all of our projects together with the delivery timelines. Mr. Binim, if you can speak to that quickly.
Okay. Thank you so much for that question. Can you hear me? I hope I'm audible enough. Can anyone confirm if you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Bidemi.
Hello, can you?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. Thank you for that question. Yes. And the question is based on the fact that, hey, we have existing projects that are yet to be completed, and in that same space, we are launching new projects, and how won't that damage credibility? Well, I sincerely what's the word? See the concern and the issue that you raised. However, a part of what we've done as an organization is to rethink our process altogether. Before now, the business model has always been, oh, you call subscribers, to come in and, and subscribe to a project, and you use their funds to, to try to deliver for them across board. However, for the past 1 year now, one of the things that we've done is to rethink and rejig the whole process entirely from the way we've always done business. In fact, the business model has significantly changed away from what it used to be to a new arrangement. And what am I simply trying to say? What I'm simply trying to say is that we've gone beyond the phase of calling in subscribers, to subscribe for a project, and we use their funds, to round off a project. Now, what we do now is to move away from being a limited company to be a PLC. And what that gives us, or the advantage that gives us, is that now we have the opportunity to source for funds in unconventional ways, and chief of them being in the capital market. So what that means is that we now have access to the capital markets to, to mop up funds for any project that we need executed. There are several commercial papers that we've rolled out in the market that are fully subscribed, for most of our projects that we've delivered. Take, for instance, Camberwall Advantage 5. One of the reasons why we could easily, push that project to early completion is because, there was a commercial paper that was raised for that project, and that project was delivered within time, although a little bit of delays, but yes, we actually delivered that last year. And for every of our other projects that you are seeing that we are pushing into the market currently, every single project has how will I put it now, funds available to execute accordingly. Part of the things that we've also done again is to, beyond going to the capital market, than ever before. What that means is we are engaging more businesses, to come on board. A case in point would be the project that we launched a couple of months ago, which is Oyster Towers. Oyster Towers is in partnership with one of the foremost, cooperatives in the country, in person of, Kuplag. So I'm saying that to say this, that each of the projects that we are launching and all the existing projects are in good stead because we now have a better way of mopping up funds to execute every single project that we have. And I think it is based off of that Mr. Quazeem could easily come up on this on this engagement and tell you that, hey, come next year by the end of the fourth quarter next year, that CA5 Annex will be delivered fully ready for for our subscribers. So based off of what I've said, we understand the need to uphold our reputation, the need to ensure that the brand remains credible, and in being credible, what we've done is to rethink our business model and find out new ways to get funds to ensure that we execute on time. Thank you. I hope I've answered your question.
In addition to what Mr. Bidemi just said, thank you very much, Mr. Bidemi. In addition to what he said, so currently most of the project that you see Veritasi launching is actually born out of the fact that now we have a bucket list of clients that are waiting. They will reach out to us. They will wait for us to say, "Oh, these are the particular kind of project I want you guys to go into now. These are the things that we want you to do for us." So we are interested in actually coming to start the subscription, or want you to start that project. So give us this particular kind of project, and we are actually going to subscribe into it. So those bucket list of clients waiting at are what actually funneled, or what actually pushes most of this new project that you are seeing. A case in question, like Mr. Bidemi mentioned, is the Kuplag, Oyster, all those things. They are bucket list of most of their members that would, oh, we need this thing. There are also some other companies that are already in their waiting list and in our bucket list, telling us that, oh, we want you guys to do this thing. So go to your table, give us what you can do for us on this particular thing, and we are willing to take it up. So those are the reasons why I see some projects still springing up, while some others are still ongoing. Thank you very much.
In fact, to add one or two to what Mr. Cousin just said, there's a project in McGregor Ikoyi that we have with some of the clients that have decided to partner with us. It's called Allied Towers. We didn't even market that at all. In fact, that project that I speak with you is completely sold out. And it's because we have partners that that decided to partner with us to ensure that those projects go according to plan, as we've marked them. I don't know, maybe one way or the other you might have seen some videos of it, but that project is going on as we speak. So each of the new projects that are coming up, and the existing ones, we've made adequate arrangement to ensure that they're delivered as at when we promise.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Bidemi. Thank you, Mr. Cousin, for that enlightening talk. More questions are still coming in. More questions are still coming in. So let me just go through the quickly to pick one more because we're trying to make sure we don't spend too much time here. As a follow-up, someone is asking what email should I reach out to for the new program of delivery for Annex. So I think the general email for the company is hello@Veritasi Homes. You send in your request and you'll be attended to concerning that. Then the next question, so many questions coming in. Okay. So someone is asking, what is the expected? People are asking obviously, for different properties. What is the expected delivery date for Advantage 3? My client subscribed and paid 80% in September 2024 for delivery in February 2025, but up until now, he's still waiting. Mr. Cousin, could you please speak to this particular question?
So I don't thank you. I would just thank you to the person that asked the question. Actually, I've mentioned something about Advantage 3, but Advantage is not is off the market, and we're actually particularly about Advantage 5, Annex, and Aramide. So my simple and direct response to the person is that Advantage 3 is going to be completed last quarter of this year. We are going to hand over to clients last quarter of this year. I can give you a definite assurance on that. So, and I'm very sure most of the clients know that we've reached out to them. There are some conversations that I've had with clients in that Camberwall Advantage 3. So I can give a direct assurance that we are going to hand over that project to clients last quarter of this year. Yes, there was a little bit of delay. Yeah, there was a little bit. We had delays. However, we are actually back on track, and that project will be handed over by the end of this year. Thank you.
Sylvia, there is a question that someone is calling our attention to.
Yes, sir. 1 minute. I'm trying to think. Oh, I can't seem to see the question.
Let me read from here. Say, following what you have just said, I believe that's the question. Following what you have just said, should we assume that the structure that is 75% ready will be handed over to subscribers who have finished paying off their purchase sum since last year before you finish the other structures? That's 5 Annex. That's the question.
Oh yes, I see the question now. Mr. Cousin, do you want to speak to that, or Mr. Bidemi?
Yeah, let me jump on it, and then Mr. Cousin can firm up whatever I said. Yeah, well, just as Mr. Cousin said, that's particular.
So I think what this person is trying to ask is if we are going to hand
Yeah,
over a
yeah,
block
I get the question. Thank you.
before the other structures are completed.
I get the question. Thank you for that question. However, yes, it's 75%, ready. But in terms of handing over to subscribers, I might not, categorically say yes. Why? The reason why is because the other two blocks are within the same space. And if you hand over, it simply means that all the construction noise and all the development that will be going on in that space will definitely, affect any other person that is staying within that structure. So I would safely say that yes, it's 75% ready, and every single subscriber, for that particular block knows who they are. However, in terms of handing over, it will be at the completion of the whole 3 blocks. That's when everything will be will be handed over to all the subscribers. Mr. Quazeem, I hope I
You've spoken it the way it's meant to be. Perfect. That's the way it's meant to be. We can't allocate individually with the blocks because there's no way the construction works going on in the 2 blocks will not affect whoever that is staying in the 3rd block. So the 3 blocks are going to be handed over simultaneously. One good thing is that most um clients that probably completed their payment or they are like maybe 75-80% done in their payment, they know where they belong to because I'm very sure that they will have gotten the letter of allocation and they know their unit. So we can allocate individually. That just answers the question. It's going to be done collectively. Thank you. Sylvia.
Sylvia, are you there? Nah, I don't think she's here. So there's someone else again with a question, and the question is, I think it's Damisha, and he says, I know this meeting is for Annex and Aramide, but if I may ask, why is Camberwall 4 not still delivered? Mr. Quazeem, I hand over to you.
So thank you, Mr. Abidi. So Advantage 4 is almost the same situation with Advantage 3. Yes, it's almost the same situation with Advantage 3. However, I want most of our routers to know something about Advantage 4 today. And that's just the singular fact that we had a whole lot of backlog issues with people that subscribe to Advantage 4, um, default in payment, all those things that actually like hindered or hampered our plan. Our plan in a way that we have actually executed it or thereabout. But not to use that as an excuse and not to actually create any issue around um, our inability to have delivered it planned or as scheduled. Um, as we've done for Advantage 5 analysts, I already have a program of work that stipulates that the milestone that needs to be achieved at every particular quarter, and that will be the same way we have it for Camberwall Advantage 3. There's a very good course of action ongoing too on Camberwall Advantage 4, and it's going to be communicated to all our friends. Yes, we're already behind schedule, way behind schedule. But like I said earlier, better late than never. Better late than never. So all we've been doing to our clients in Advantage 4 is just to appeal to them, to let them know that yes, we are we've erred, but at least we're still appealing and we are still making that defined promise and sincere dedication to what we have signed that we're going to deliver the place for them. So yes, Advantage 4 not yet delivered, but trust me, it's actually going to be delivered too. We're just trying to conclude our mapping out on our plan so we don't give a timeline and at the end of the day we are coming back to say, oh, we are sorry again. No. Whatever information as regards delivery that we are shunning out now has to either be that particular time or before that time. So Advantage 4 will definitely reach out and give a concrete and definite timeline for the delivery. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cousin. Thank you, Mr. Bidemi. So it's already time, it's already 1 hour. We had planned for the meeting to just last for one, and there are still questions that are coming in. And rightly so, some of these questions would advise that you have a one-on-one conversation with the team by sending us a message via official channel. We have our WhatsApp channel, our official WhatsApp channel. We have the email. We have a direct call. You can call us. You can reach out to us to have one-on-one conversation concerning some of the questions that have been dropped for the team. So I think okay. There is one more question. Okay, so many questions. Honestly, there we can't really take any more questions. Please, if you have questions directly,
Sorry, Sylvia. Somebody just asked a question now. Will the price increase affect people that have paid 60% or thereabouts? No, it's not going to affect them.
if you have questions, of course we would.
It's not going to affect
We will
them.
follow up with you on all of our channels. Okay. So thank you all for joining. Thank you. I want to say a very big thank you for showing up. I want to thank you for your engagement. Thank you so much for your questions. Thank you for trusting us with your time. It means everything to us here at Veritasi. Mr. Quazeem, thank you. Mr. Bidemi, thank you for really explaining everything about the properties and what we intend to do. As we all know, as the means, as a way of recap, the prices are moving up. Everybody can act now, before that time. Thank you again, and we will see you on the other side of your next decision. Thank you so much, and have a lovely night. Good night, everybody.
Thank you very much, Sylvia. Thank you, everybody on the
And
call.
thank you,
Have
everyone.
a wonderful night.
Thank you. We do appreciate you. Thank you so much.